So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning to our presentation of programs here. This is a presentation that we provide 4 times during the year with different experts from our Catholic Charities team. And so we welcome them this morning so that they can come and share with you a little bit about their work, what volunteer opportunities we have available, what needs do we have available, and what is it that we do around the most vulnerable here in Arizona. And so welcome. This information in the front, the 1-800 number, it's a toll-free number that you can refer people to at any time. It's also on our website. If you have any questions later on, you want to connect someone with us, just have them email info@cc-az.org. So that they can let us know how we can help them. And so we'll have this information at the end. But thank you so much for joining us. We will have our chat box on. So if in case you have any questions along the way, you are more than welcome to just write in your questions and one of our team members will be answering them as well. And before we get started, let's say a quick prayer and have a moment of silence and peace. And you can join me in this prayer if you'd like, so that we can have a good start. In the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Loving God, as persons made in your image, you call on us to recognize and affirm the dignity, sanctity, and value of every human being. And like the Good Samaritan, you invite us to encounter you in the mystery of each person we meet, especially those who are poor or marginalized. We thank you for the blessings you have bestowed on so many of our community's most vulnerable through the love and service of this faith-based agency. We ask you to bless its dedicated team members, volunteers, and supporters, and all who contribute with gratitude to its mission. Bless especially each of those individuals and families who turn to Catholic Charities in their hour of greatest need. Empower Catholic Charities to embrace them where they are and to help them find hope to become who they are meant to be, so that individuals grow, families thrive, and communities flourish. We ask all of this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen. All right, so this presentation is provided by our philanthropy team, who is also part of the volunteer parish and community engagement team. We're here to support you. If you have any donations, if you want to volunteer, if you want to support in any way possible, we are here to support you along the way. So know that you can count on our team to be there. One of the things before we get started on this presentation is something that we wanted to share with you all that's going on right now in our counseling program, and it's being offered throughout the agency. This is a new opportunity for those that are feeling anxious, that are feeling sad. We know that mental health is at its rise right now. And so we have an app called Hope. And so I want to introduce you and meet Hope. Hope is a free emotional support bot providing encouragement and strategies to manage everyday stress and anxiety. All you have to do is text HI to Hope at 1-202-949-7249 and get instant support. There is a start code that you would have to enter, because this is going to really show us how many people are using it in the state of Arizona and with us. And the code would be CCCAZ. And this is great. Hope is anonymous, it's private, and it's available 24/7 for anyone in need. It's proven, it's faith-based, it's emotional, and mental support services. So know that this is a lot for the people that we're working with as well. And for us in different moments. Hope offers proven technology to offer custom mental help when and where you need it. She is used by over 13 million users worldwide right now. Catholic Charities USA, it's in partnership with them. And so there's other states that are also providing this Hope app to the community. And so we are getting some great information. If there is someone on this call who needs immediate attention to want to speak with someone, they will get connected automatically with a live person. But they provide you with strategies, how to take breathing exercises. And so it's definitely a great opportunity to share awareness. If you go to Catholic Charities on our Facebook page and like us, there is a post there that you are more than welcome to share with others, as well as other social media. And we will be sharing this post and information as well with parishes. So we need your help in promoting it along them. So just know that this service and resource is at your service. And now for our program staff presenting today, we want to welcome Veronica Lopez from Foster Care and Adoption, Erika Peña, who will be speaking about our Unaccompanied Minor Foster Care Program, Emily Joy from our philanthropy team, and Cole Hickman from Manna House. There will be a Q&A after each presenter, and then a call of action towards the end. So feel free to ask any questions after they're done speaking. There's going to be some videos and some stories we want to share with you, so you can see about this impact and stories from the people we are impacting. So first, we are going to start with Veronica Lopez. Veronica Lopez is from our foster care and adoption program. Welcome, Veronica. Can you tell us a little bit about the work you're doing in foster care, and your needs and the volunteer opportunities? Welcome. I think Veronica is finding a perfect spot to sit down. There she goes.
Sorry, guys. Okay, so I want to tell you about foster care and adoption. So our program, we work with families that are interested in doing foster care, and we work for you from beginning to end. We will go ahead and help you with getting licensed, bringing you the paperwork, helping you with training, and once you get a child placed in your home, we will help you through anything that comes up with the children, any questions you have, any needs you have. We have a lot of support for all of our families. I think it's a wonderful program. And we also work with families that want to adopt. So if you're interested in adopting, a lot of these children that are in the DCS care in the system that will not be returning to their parents, they are up for adoption, and we try to help you find a good match of something that will be a good home for the children and a good home, and a good child that might be a good, addition to your family. So I think, are there any questions? The numbers are right up here on the screen. If anybody is interested or has questions, you can go ahead. I have a question. Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, I have been asked this question quite often in our Hispanic community. There are many good families and very willing parents who like to foster children, but they are wondering about the process regarding their resident status. Like, do they have to be? I know they have to go through fingerprinting, but I'm not sure if anybody can go get fingerprinted regardless of their legal status, or if that will be a possibility or not to be able to be foster parent.
Yes, so I know that the state requires that they at least have maybe their presidency permit. I think maybe even a working visa. I don't know that they have to be US citizens or anything like that. But if they, because we do have, we've worked in the past with families that are not legal residents, but they cannot be here illegally without any form of, like I said, a visa, a working visa, permanency residency card, things like that. And then with that, we have no problem getting the fingerprint card, getting them licensed or certified to adopt.
Thank you.
Yes, any other questions?
Veronica, I have a question. How long have you been with Catholic Charities? And tell us just a little bit more about why do you like working in foster care and adoption?
Okay. Well, I've been working here with Catholic Charities since 2007. So it's been a while. I did leave for a little bit and then I returned, but I've been doing this, working with foster children, with the vulnerable communities for most of my work history. I mean, at least probably around 20 years or so. And I love helping the families. I love working with the children. You know, I love seeing a family adopt children and welcome them into the family as a permanent addition. It's great to see that. And, you know, I just think it's something that can be scary, but it's so rewarding to you, you know? It is just an amazing reward. It's rewarding for me. And that's what families tell me also. It's so rewarding for them when they're able to help a child that's in need, you know, give them the love and the guidance that they need as a foster parent. And then if they end up adopting the children, having them have a permanent family that they can call their own. A lot of children end up aging out of foster care, and that I think is one of the saddest things, without having a permanent family to belong to. Mhm.
Veronica, if in case we know of someone who's been wanting to, they've thought about it, you know, do you offer anything for those that are just curious, that want more questions, that want to dig a little deeper? Do you have anything for the community so they can learn a little bit more about that opportunity?
Yes. So if you call any of these numbers, the one, I'm in Maricopa County, so I would be Central Arizona, but even if we have people in Northern Arizona, they can call there. But when you call, we will give you like a date. We have various orientations throughout the month. There's at least one every month, sometimes several of them, that you can attend in person. And we always have people show up there to find out more information, to find out specifics, maybe to you, specific questions that you have that you want to ask. We're doing them through Zoom now. We were doing them in person, but because of the pandemic, we're doing them through Zoom. But again, you can ask any question. We dig deeper into some of the things that are needed, how it all happens. With the foster children, with children to adopt, you know, those kinds of things. And there's a great opportunity for you to learn. And then you can decide. It's something that it's a decision you have to consider. It's not something that right away you say, oh yeah, this is what I need. Usually people need to take in the information, process it, learn about it, and make sure that it's something you want to do, because it is something that it's a big commitment. I guess that's how I should say it. It is a commitment, but know that you're not alone. Even with it being a huge commitment, you are not alone. You have 100% support from all of our staff, and all of our staff has been with us more. I think every single one, maybe one that has only been here like 2 years, but the rest of them, I mean, we have staff that has been here for 18 years. They have lots and lots of experience helping foster families and the children that they're helping. Mhm.
Veronica, what's the length of time? So if I want to be a foster parent, what's the length? Will this be completed in 2 months, in 3 months, and then I get a child? Or how long is that time frame?
Yes. So the normal time would be, because you have to go through training. That is something that's required by the state. We want to make sure, again, even through the training, you dig even deeper into how it all works and what's required, what's expected. And sometimes we have families that say, well, maybe not right now, and that's okay. But going through the training, there's a lot of paperwork we require from you. There's a home study we have to do where we ask more questions. We have to write like a home study that's usually at least 20 pages long. I always tell people it's like writing a story about you, but we're getting all this information from you, and we have to do that because then that gets sent to the state, who then reviews it. And of course, they don't know you. They don't know how wonderful you are and all the things you can offer. And so we are letting them know this is the family we're working with. This is who we want to license. We check fingerprint. We make sure you get your fingerprint, any background checks, things like that that are required by the state. And then they read it, the home study, and then they go ahead and approve it or deny it. No, normally with us, we've had, I would say all the time, it gets approved, because if there's any reason that we think the state will deny it, we are usually know already, and we can have a conversation with you about it. But the process can take maybe 3 months. We have some that take a little longer, but that's usually maybe because the family has other things going on. Sometimes they're remodeling their home. We have to wait then until the home is finished with being remodeled. Maybe they can't find a certain paper, because we do ask for things like birth certificates, marriage license, if you're married, a lot of documents, and sometimes it takes them a little bit to find them. But once we have everything, we write the home study, we submit it to the state, and it's usually maybe a 2-week time frame. We hear back, and then we get going.
That's awesome, Veronica.
So it says, do you deal with pregnant women, helping them through the process to adoption? So do you mean like a family that's pregnant that also wants to foster? You're not talking about their baby, right?
No, I'm talking about a woman that's pregnant, and she's she may be wondering whether she wants to abort or not. She may be saying, geez, I want to, maybe I'm going to go for adoption. She definitely doesn't want to keep the child, but either she's going to abort or she's going to go for adoption. Do you work with that kind of thing, or is that done to another organization?
No, that we work with that here. Now it's a different, this is for foster care and adoption. So the foster care and adoption is, this program specifically is working with the children that are in DCS care. But I actually supervise a program that's called Joining Hearts. And that works specifically with what you're saying. It is for family, for any person that finds themselves pregnant, that, it's not, they know they don't want to keep the child, and so they're looking for alternatives. We work with them because we give them a pro-life option of either keeping the child and parenting, or making a plan for an adoption. Now, we do have also families in that program that are ready to adopt. And the wonderful thing about that program is that the mom that comes forward to us for help, she gets to select who she wants the parents to be. We ask her like what interests her, in what she would like to see in parents for her child. And then we go through our profiles of families we have, and we select a couple that have those things that she's looking for in a family for her child. And we present them to her, the profiles. And then once she selects a family, or even before she selects, if she wants to meet these families in person and talk to them, she can do that before she can select the family that she wants her baby to go to.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's an open adoption. It's I think one of the only programs in the state that is 100% open.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Good question. And I know we're going to be learning a lot more about Joining Hearts at another presentation of programs. So very good question. But the really nice thing is that as you reach out to Veronica or Catholic Charities and those situations arise, our programs can connect them with other services that they may need. So I know that there's a wonderful story of a video of a foster family who takes care of children. So why don't we watch it? And then Veronica, after the video, you could share with us, how can we help? Because your journey alongside these families, you also provide them with resources once they're in Catholic Charities. So we'd love to hear about that. So let's enjoy the video here next.
And then they leave.
To the average onlooker, the Verde Valley is nothing more than a quiet mountain community, but it's easy to miss the miracles of love and family happening here. Every year, Catholic Charities Community Services impacts the lives of hundreds of Northern Arizona children in foster care. They come from all walks of life, backgrounds, and situations, but they all have one thing in common, that they deserve a safe place to call home. Foster parents Natalie and Corby are no strangers to opening their home to children in need. They've created a place of refuge and healing for 20 foster children and adopted one child. In their year and a half of fostering, they've made a lifetime of difference.
I was introduced to foster care growing up. My aunt did foster care. She did therapeutic and just regular foster care. And at the age of, I think, 14, I wanted to adopt them all. So I've just always really been interested in that. I knew even before I got married, I wanted to find somebody who was also interested in that because I knew that was just something that God was calling me to do. We have been fostering, I think, 7 to 8 years, and we have kind of had a little bit of everything. We've had kids that we've had in our home just for a week or two, and then they end up going to a family or being quickly reunited back with parents. We've also had a little girl that we had for 3.5 years, and she ended up reuniting back with parents. We also have a little boy right now. He's 2 years old. We had him since he was 6 months old, and in 3 weeks, we finally get to adopt him. So we are so excited.
Catholic Charities has been a great help for us through the foster care by being there. They're local, easy to get a hold of, quickly respond.
They've just always been there for me. Not only do they come alongside us and they suddenly feel like friends to us, but they also, every worker that we've ever had just loves on our kids and will do anything for them.
You may have a child for a few days, and in those few days you bond and then they leave. Or you can have a child for several months that never really bonds with you, has those kind of walls up because they're missing their parents and they see you as kind of a replacement. So that can be challenging, but you just got to kind of remember that you're doing it for the kids, giving them a safe place.
I have absolutely loved just developing the relationships with the bio parents and the families. You just come to realize what they've also been through as parents, and I've just learned, a lot of compassion.
Seeing our kids with the foster kids, the foster kids will hang out with them or cuddle with them, and they become like little parents.
We've had, I would say, 7, 8 at least families that are our age here in the area also sign up and do foster care, and it's been super rewarding for them too. But it's been just an awesome experience for us as parents and for my kids just to be able to see the need and the hurt that's out there and how they can help. Our 13-year-old son and our 11-year-old daughter, they both say that they want to foster when they get older as well. So it's been just an awesome, awesome experience.
Oh, that was a very nice story, Veronica. And I know the beautiful thing is that we're in central and northern Arizona. Foster care started, Catholic Charities started with foster care and taking care of kids. So this is very special work that we do. So what are some of the needs that some of your families are facing, and how can we support?
Yes, so like I said, we try to support our families in every way that we can. We help them, and there's a list up here. We help them with providing children's books, diapers, accessories for children. Board games are always good as well. With the pandemic, it has kind of made things a little bit more difficult sometimes. Because we do try to adhere to, not only try the rules of always wearing masks and keeping a distance and trying to sanitize everything. So something that we've run into, in case anybody out there has any interest in being able to help us, apart from all the things that if it donated, whether it's new clothing, games, toys, whatever, those are all used all the time to help the children and the families. But something that we have found to be useful is gift cards. If there are any organization, any workplace, whoever that wants to donate gift cards, we would love to, that would help a lot. Thank you.
If you want to reach out to Veronica, please reach out to her so that you can find out. You can visit us on our website, catholiccharities.az.org, and just look for foster care, and you will find some information to refer people or to support us in any way, as well as the charity list in Amazon. Veronica, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you for all the work. I know that there's a lot of children in foster care, and we need all the help that we can get to take care of them. Thank you, Veronica.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for
Veronica.
having me on.
Thank you.
All right, up next, we have Erika Peña with our Unaccompanied Minors Program. Erika, welcome.
Thank you. I'm Erika Peña. I work with the Unaccompanied Minor Program. We are similar to Veronica's program, which is the foster care. One of the differences with our program is the youth or the clients that we serve. We are foster care, but the clients we serve are unaccompanied minors that are coming from the shelters and refugee camps. So the foster care process is the same one as Veronica mentioned. You do go through the process to get your foster care license with the state of Arizona. So that process is all the same. We do the background checks, we do the home study, we prepare your home. So all that is the same. The population that we serve, like mentioned, are the kiddos that are coming from the shelters and then the refugee camps. So one of the things that I always mention is that we do work with teenagers, usually from the ages of 14 to 17 and older. The unaccompanied minors, they are youth that are coming to the United States. The ones that are from the shelter, they are making their journey and crossing the border and then are detained in shelters. Usually those are the youth that are coming from South America. And then the ones that are coming from refugee camps, depending on their situation, their story of why, either because of persecution or they had to flee their country, they made a journey to another neighboring country, and then they were then in a refugee camp. So the age range is teenagers. Once they're either in a refugee camp or a shelter, they go through a process where they determine if they have a legal guardian or a parent, if they're coming with somebody. Once it's determined that they absolutely don't have a parent or a legal guardian with them, then they qualify for the Unaccompanied Minor Program. So these, usually the ones that are coming from refugee camps are usually the ones overseas. We have youth from all over the world, usually depending on current events. What is happening right now in the world determines what youth we have in our program. So right now, as most of you have seen in the news of what's happened in Afghanistan, we are going to be starting to see youth from Afghanistan coming into the program. Currently, they are in military bases, so they have to go through all the background checks and through their vetting system, and then they are on the list of potential for foster care. Once they are on a list, we work with USCCB, who gives us the bio of the youth. There are multiple Catholic charities throughout United States. So depending if the youth has a legal case here in Arizona, that youth is eligible to come here. we have had youth be placed here in Arizona, and they're coming from different states. We've had some from New York, Florida. So it just depends if they have a legal case here. So it is the same requirements as some of the ones Veronica mentioned. We are always in need of families. Usually how this works is we first have to have the family and the space available in order for us to bring these kids here. So currently all the youth that are eligible are currently in refugee camps or shelters by the borders. So once we have the family, they got their license, they're ready to go, then we are in the lookout for that, that list of all the youth. And then we look through the list, see which ones have legal cases in Arizona, which ones are, the best fit for our families here, and then we can bring them here. So usually our main goal is always reunification, but usually for the majority of the time that isn't an option because of the situation, why they ran away or why they had to leave their home country. The goal is always reunification, but that happens not so often. So the next biggest goal of our program is for us to help them be independent. Like I said, they are teenagers, so we want to help them and bring all the resources they might need, and then help them get their own apartment. So once they age out of our program at age 21, they're able to sustain themselves and be able to be on their own here in the United States. So once they come here, our foster families, we want them to be able to help them through the initial things they may need. Some youth need training or help like how to turn on a stove or how to use the washing machine, how to use public transportation. So in the beginning, it's those common everyday things that we wouldn't think they would need help with, but we foster parents, they go through that. Once we get them enrolled into school, we get them into ESL classes, and then depending on their goals, we help them get there before they turn 18, become an adult, and then eventually when they age out, they're able to be on their own.
This is really good information, Erika, to understand. And so it goes with the same. If I want to be a foster parent, but I'm not a citizen, but I'm a resident, a permanent resident, I can become a foster parent for one of these children, right?
Correct. So
Okay.
it's the same explanation that Veronica gave, and also just having proof that you will be here at least 2 years in the United States, as your license is for 2 years. So we want to make sure that if you do take on a youth or a minor, then you'll be able to be here for a while for them.
All right. And I know you mentioned right now, which I think goes perfectly with the story here of Karen and Stephen. You mentioned that when children age out after 18, then you work with them so that they can find a place to live, and then they need some support and guidance. So tell us a little bit about this beautiful story of Karen and Stephen.
Yes. So Karen is one of our foster parents that have been with us for over 30 years. She has had so many placements, I can't even count them anymore. I need to keep track of it. But she has seen so many youth go through her home. She has helped them through those initial struggles and helping them through education. She treats them just as if they were her youth. One time I asked her, like, what kept you going through all this? And she said, I just think if it was my child, how would that family, treat them? So she takes that to heart and say, like, if this was my child, this is how I want them to be treated. So like I said, she has had so many placement. one of the stories is Stephen, one of her placements. He was there for a couple years in her home, started out in high school and then eventually transitioned to further education. But his story, more specific, is his dream is to become a chef. So the program, knowing, what his future goals are, helped him give all the resources or what he needed to accomplish those goals and try to make that path for him easier. So in the picture, he did participate in a contest and won. So this is just one of the success stories.
How wonderful. And it seems to, reading a little bit, that he can always count on Karen for any support, for emotional support, for, hey, I have my check now. I don't know how to balance it out. I don't know how to make it stretch. And it seems like she can count on a mentor and a parent. I mean, it seems like Karen is becoming this mother for many children and people that they can count on. So that is such a wonderful story. And this is one blog story of many that we have that we encourage you to read. And there's some other wonderful stories, but this is a good one, which it could transition to that, Erika. I know that there's individuals who say, you know what, I live by myself. I have another room. I can be a mentor too. And I know that you need someone who's over 18 or 18 who I can care for or talk with or mentor or support during high school. Are those opportunities available? And what other needs are you looking for as well from the community?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know, like Veronica said, being a foster parent is a major decision that not only you make, but your whole family, your community. So it is a tough decision. And other ways to help is we do have another option, which we call a community member. So these are families or people, individuals who have an extra room in their house that they want to rent out. Sometimes our youth turn 18, but they're not fully, they still need a little bit more mentoring. They still don't feel ready to go to that next step of being on their own and getting an apartment by themselves. So we were looking at, we need something in the middle. We need a transition place where they are no longer foster youth. They already over 18, they're adults, but they're still not at that point where they are ready to be on their own. So we created the other option, which is community members, where we have families out in the Valley who do not have, you are not required to have a foster care license, but we do require background checks and proof of identification and make sure the house is sustainable and they have what they need. So we do have families out in the Valley who are renting to our youth and still being mentors and, showing them the other few things that they need before actually being on their own. So that is one option. Again, you do not have to be licensed for that. But one of the downside of going for this option is that there's really not a time frame or a guarantee of when you would get a youth in your home. It all depends on the youth that are already in the program and seeing where they're at in the program. So all the kids that we have, once they turn 18, they let their case managers know, this is our goals, this is what this is my plan. So depending on that plan determines if they need a community placement. So sometimes our families sometimes wait like 3 days and already calling them, we have an opportunity, this youth needs help, can you take them in for a few months? Sometimes I've had families wait a few months. So that's one of the downsides. If you do have your license, the wait time is shorter because we have minor youth coming in regularly, whereas the community placement, it all depends on where the current youth are. So other ways that you can help is all these youth that are going to independent living where they get their own apartment, they always need the essentials. The program provides them. We have connections with different organizations where they help us furnish their apartment, but they still need those extra little things. So any household items, donations, again, like Veronica said, gift cards, sometimes whatever we get donated, and they might need something else. So those gift cards come in handy so they can go and buy that themselves. So also during the pandemic, we had a lot of difficulties with school. So volunteering as a mentor for helping the youth. Like I said, during the pandemic, it was really hard for them as English is their second language. It was hard for them for school. At first, it was how to even use a laptop. So we had people come in and help them navigate those challenges. So volunteering different ways, if it's not, donations, also like time from you and helping those youth.
Erika, there was a question here, aging out for either foster care or unaccompanied minor foster care. Is there secondary education assistance available for them?
Okay. So unfortunately, once they age out, we no longer can help them. So before they age out, we do try to help them and give them all the resources they can, and also connect them with other organizations that do help them after they age out. So one that just comes to my mind is Chicanos por la Causa. One of our youth was interested in a nursing program. She was reaching that age of aging out. So we connected her to this other organization that actually helps out and pays for the most of the tuition and everything for her to enroll into that nursing program.
Wonderful. All right. Well, Erika, thank you so much for your time. Does anyone have any questions, any additional questions for Erika from our Unaccompanied Minors program? I think she shared really good information and to think about and to share with others. Erika, thank you so much for your time today. And if anyone has any questions and wants to reach out and support Erika in this mission with our refugee children, please, her email is on there and feel free to contact her. Erika, thank you so much.
Thank you, Erika.
All right, up next, we have Emily Joy, who's going to share a little bit about our foster care tax credit and our Arizona Charitable tax credit. Emily, welcome.
Thank you so much, Dulce. So yes, my name is Emily. I work with the philanthropy team. And I'm just going to take a few minutes just to share a little bit about our tax credits that we offer here at Catholic Charities. We're entering the season of giving. And so I know for a lot of people, they're looking for places that are great places to receive donations, and we are a great one as we offer these amazing tax credits to the state of Arizona. Many people don't know what tax credits are. What are they? What do they do for me? And it's a very unique program here in the state of Arizona that we even offer this program. So I love to share how cool this is and how privileged we are to get to be able to do this amazing tax credit program through our state. So tax credits, basically, what they do is you donate to a charity, a qualified charity, and based on their qualification through the state, they offer different tax credits based on what kind of charity they are. And they have set limits on how much you can give. And basically they reduce your liability that you owe at the end of the tax season to the state of Arizona. So here at Catholic Charities, we offer two types of tax credits. The first one is the Arizona Foster Care Tax Credit, and that goes to all of our direct programs, the ones that you talked to today, as we do offer foster care as one of our programs. So the maximum for that is 500 individually, or 1,000 if you file jointly with a spouse or partner. And the Arizona Charitable Tax Credit, comes through one of our partner organizations, Housing for Hope, which basically is our program that provides all of our affordable housing complexes here in the Valley. And because of that one, we also have that charitable tax credit. Used to be known as the working poor tax credit, but it has since then changed. And those limits are 400 individually and 800 if you're filed jointly. What's really cool about these tax credits is that they are stackable. There are several different types of tax credits. And so you can stack your donations basically for different organizations and these different types of tax credits to increase how much increase how much liability you reduce off your taxes. So you can still give to your children's school. If they're in private school, you can still give to your church, and all of these different donations stack to reduce your liability to the state. It is a dollar for dollar tax reduction of that liability. And so you're basically telling the state where you want your money to go at the end of the day, which is just an amazing way to give back to your community and really tell the state what's important to you. How you do this, we have forms online. If you have any specific questions about how much you're liable to the state, I definitely recommend reaching out to your CPA or someone that does know a lot of what you're going through as far as what you do owe to the state. But this is a great option if you do still owe excess to the state, and we are so happy that if you choose to give to us. So yeah, we have more information on our website. We also have tons of brochures. If you know CPAs or you yourself are the CPA, we would love to get in contact with you. We were just at a CPA conference a couple weeks ago, handing out brochures, just letting them know what an amazing organization we are and how we offer these two unique tax credits. And we would be more than happy to give those brochures out. So reach out to us if you have any questions. But are there any questions in the chat, Dulce? Are you seeing?
No questions as of yet.
Am I on mute or?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Jim.
I noticed you said it's only per cup for jointly, it's $800 maximum for Housing for Hope. So if you do $800 for Housing for Hope, can you do the other 200 in the foster care?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
if you say you owe, for example, I don't know, $800 to the state as you're filing, you can give that, and you're filing jointly, you can give that $1,000 to the foster care tax credit, and then the other $800 to Housing for Hope for that charitable tax credit. So they're stackable, 100%. Okay. And there's no limits for the stacking of tax credits. It just can't exceed your liability to the state. So you can't get a refund for giving it.
I think if you exceed the liability, don't you get to like push that up to future years?
Yes, you can. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I think it's up to 5 years or so, but
I think so. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Good questions. Anyone else? All right, Emily, and you can designate where you want your donations to go. You will receive a receipt afterwards that you can include with your taxes. So, so thank you so much if you do go on there right now and donate. But think about it and know that a lot of your donations will be going to good works. Thank you so much, Emily. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to Emily as well. All right, up next for our final presenter, we have Cole Hickman with our Manna House program. Welcome, Cole. Where's our Cole? Is he muted? Cole, are you there? Is everything okay?
I'm trying to contact him.
I know there's been a lot going on at Manna House, so maybe everything's okay.
I can jump in and talk about it. And then if Cole jumps on and wants to answer some questions at the end, he's more than
great.
welcome.
Thank you, Emily.
I'm here. I apologize. I was just working with some vendors on site. We're making some building improvements, so keeps us busy. My name is Cole Hickman. I'm the Senior Program Manager at Manna House. Manna House has been in existence in some form since I think around 2008. There was a peer group of veterans down around the Human Services campus and the Cash Shelter who looked out for each other and created a support group. And then that grew into an organization that in 2015 became part of Catholic Charities and became a transitional housing program. And so we provide transitional housing for up to 76 male veterans at any given time. And lately we've been completely full. It's been 76 veterans in our program. And transitional housing is meant to be a step above shelter where people can transition from homelessness on the street or coming into the VA without any kind of housing and work with our case managers and exit to their own home, to their own apartment. So we have on-site case management for all the residents in our program. We provide a place for them to live, meals, and we connect them to other programs and services for employment, for substance abuse, for mental health, for medical care. And we have the support of the VA. And we even have VA staff on site to work with them to make sure that they can access those resources.
Wonderful. How about, Cole, if we show them a little tour of the inside?
That sounds great.
All right, let's do this.
Hi, I'm Wendy Owens with Catholic Charities. Welcome to Manna House. Manna House stands for Marine, Army, Navy, Air Force. Manna House is a transitional housing facility for 76 veterans experiencing homelessness. Here, they're able to get that necessary help to move them from striving to thriving, to move them from being on the streets into their own home. Manna House houses 76 veterans in a dorm-style room. Each of the rooms has beds for the men, a place for them to put their clothing. We also have a desk for them, as well as lockers. These lockers are important because that's where they put their medicine and they're able to lock up their personal items. As you can see, the rooms are quite spacious and large, and it gives them some time to actually have respite. Recreation is very important to our veterans here at Manna House. So we provided some opportunities for them to have just a little relaxation, whether it's with the pool table, the air hockey table, or the tennis table, or even just watching a movie. In addition to that, we also have a computer room. The computer room is for the veterans to reach out to their family members and friends and to help them stay connected. The All Faiths Chapel is a place where our men can come and have some time of reflection and a place for them to heal. Welcome to the Manna House Kitchen. This is a place where community happens. It's a place where the men are all fed their meals. In the morning, they have a self-service breakfast bar where they're responsible for their own breakfast. And then in the afternoon, which we're getting ready for their afternoon lunch, followed by an evening meal. When I talk about community, we have residential meetings here, so the residents all get together and discuss the issues that are concerning to them. We also bring in various veterans groups and allow them to come in and help support our veterans. In addition to that, this is where our AA meetings are held, our 12-step programs, and also other special programs such as that. We do have volunteer groups come in. They provide meals for our veterans. And also, sometimes we'll have somebody special come in, like we had a painter come in to work with paintings for our veterans. So when they leave here, they have a painting to hang in their house. This is the Manna House donation room. You can see how much the community supports us. We have volunteer groups that come in. They gather items such as clothing, toiletries, items for the veterans to take when they move into their new homes. They sort those items and they actually help us to distribute those items. A necessary piece of Manna House is finding employment for our veterans. We're very fortunate that we now have a coffee roaster on site. Imagine getting up in the morning, taking a shower, walking down the hall, and coming to work. Here, veterans will learn necessary skill sets that will help them to find employment. Case management is an important piece of success for our veterans when they're here at Manna House. They meet with a case manager, they set goals, they get their VA benefits together. In addition to that, they also assist them with finding employment, if that's what they're looking for. We provide them with housing. We provide them with all the necessary steps to be successful when they leave here. Thank you for joining us today at Manna House. There are many opportunities for you to get involved with to help our veterans. Please reach out to us at Catholic Charities.
Wonderful. Cole, I know that with the whole pandemic, volunteer opportunities have been low a little bit. How is that going? Are you welcoming any right now? What are your current needs that you are seeking from the community?
Right now, we have started to allow volunteers to come back on site. We still do occasionally have COVID cases, so it's something that we just take really seriously in terms of wearing masks and social distancing, and even some of the layout of the rooms that was shown. We've organized things a little bit differently just so we can continue to provide services in a safe manner. But with that, we've had volunteers come in and serve meals, help with organizing our donation center. And particularly in the donation center, as you saw in that video, we have a lot of clothing, and we're actually trying to move more in a direction of asking for donations for people to move into housing with. So towels, twin sheets, cleaning supplies, small home appliances, things that people can furnish a home with, because that helps us transition veterans into their own home and reduce some of the costs that they have when they move into their own housing, so they can maintain and afford their rent going forward. So we've been doing a lot of work to reorganize that donation center. And if people want to come in and volunteer to help organize that, we are always welcoming them. And we have our background check process through Catholic Charities. But also, if people just want to donate items, the things I listed, towels, bedding, we give those to every veteran who comes into our program so that they have something to start with. And when they leave for housing, they can take all those items with them. So those things really help us not only welcome veterans and make them feel taken care of, but set them up for success in housing as they end their homelessness.
Wonderful. Does anyone have any questions for Cole at Manor House?
Maybe you said this before, and I think I knew it at one time. What's a typical time that it takes for someone to, enter the facility and then get to their house?
It varies quite a bit depending on each person's housing barriers and what things they need to put together in order to move into housing. So on average, it's about 70 days, but that varies widely. Some people come in and they move into housing within only a few weeks because they already have an income. They don't have a lot of major barriers like evictions or felonies on their record. And some individuals may take many months before they can move into housing because they have to file for disability, or they have a lot more difficulty in finding housing that will rent to them because they may have certain criminal backgrounds that just become a barrier. And so that's why our case managers, when they start working with a client, will make an individualized housing plan so that we don't have one size fits all expectations or solutions. And if it takes a lot more support and a lot more time to help that individual move into housing and be successful, then we want to make sure we provide that. At the same time, we want to make sure that every resident in our program is taking advantage of those resources, because even right now, the VA has many individuals who they can't place in a program like Manor House. And all the residents in our program, they don't come here directly. They go to the VA. It's specifically an office called the CRRC. And that's where all referrals into our programs start. They go to the VA and they get referred to us based on their needs and what's appropriate and what services they're eligible for. And so we want to make sure that the folks who we're working with, they really want that transitional housing model, because there are many veterans who are waiting to get this opportunity. And so we want to make sure that we're using their time wisely.
That's good to know, Cole, because sometimes if we do meet a veteran, how can we help them? And I think starting at the CRRC is the best place for them to get evaluated and then see if Manor House is the option for them. Absolutely.
And the VA will also look at what their other needs are, because Manor House may be able to help with having a place for them to stay and doing case management around housing. But the VA can also assign them to other services to address mental health needs or substance abuse needs, or employment services, or medical care, or other resources that are available to veterans in the community, that the VA is the best place to start for. And a lot of that is also going to be based on their eligibility and their service record. And so the VA is always the best place to start. Some veterans, they may be hesitant to do that, but there's a lot of things that are out there for them, or a lot more programs that have developed over the last few decades to help veterans in need. So we really want people to take advantage of those and start there.
Wonderful. Cole, thank you so much for your time today and sharing with us about Manna House. His email is up there if you have not taken it, or you can just send him a quick message right now and share yours, but partner with us and help in any way that's possible. Cole, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're very welcome. And actually, I'm actually going to put in the comments section my email address. That's actually the email address for just one of the other staff here at Manna House, who was also very helpful. It's Chuck Ashby, who runs our Veterans Outreach Center, that actually works with veterans who are on the street and at the Human Services campus, because we have a little outreach office where we continue to engage all veterans. And I just saw a question, what about women? Catholic Charities is continuing to try and develop a program, St. Bernadette's Place, where we can provide services to female veterans, because it's been a major gap in the community. And it's a complicated thing to set up, so they're still working on that. But that's also why the CRC and the VOC will work with any veteran to try and get them connected to a program, even if it's not Manna House, so we can get them back on their feet.
Good questions, and thank you for sharing that, Cole. Thank you very much. So you might want to take Chuck's email and Cole's email as well to get a hold of them. Thank you so much, Cole, again.
You're very welcome.
Well, we want to thank the presenters. Know that there is program material available on these programs that we just presented. Just give us send us a message. If you want it mailed to you, we are more than happy to do so. We also have agency brochures and more information available if you guys want some of this information as well. One of the biggest things that we want you to do is refer anyone interested in helping veterans, being a foster family, tax credit information, donate if your heart feels compelled to, volunteer, definitely join our team. We do have a lot of open positions at this time. Please visit us on our website and check them out. See if it's something a friend or someone you know may need. Just some last reminders here. Emergency Santa Shop, we have an Emergency Santa program that we help a lot of our families in Catholic Charities and also out in the community. Right now, we are taking this information down. If you know of any families that are very vulnerable and not receiving any other assistance, and they have children 0 to 17, give them this phone number, have them register. Care Campus is the one that has this Emergency Santa out in Mesa. We are doing a drive-through kind of style, so they would come in and pick up their toys for these children. So know that this opportunity is available. Also, we want to thank Anytime Auto Glass and Tint. They will be donating $100 when you get your windshield replaced. And so a lot of this information will be given to you at the email, but these $100 will impact Manna House that we just heard of, Emergency Santa for some toys because we are running low, and Westside Head Start, early education in our West Valley. If you're interested in being a champion volunteer in your church, in your parish, out in the community, let us know. If you're interested, we provide you material so that you can be out and help us spread awareness of all that we do. We want to thank you again for your time in helping our community's most vulnerable with solutions that permanently improve lives.